Challenging with insight is all the rage these days. Textbooks written about it. Insight is defined as something your company knows about your customer's market or their business that they don't fully appreciate but should. And challenging with insight is confronting them with the data about your knowledge to see if you can change the way they're behaving, obviously in your interest and theirs. The whole idea of challenging your customer, though, seems a bit problematic. I think of the 26-year-old sales guy challenging the seasoned business executive and think it's probably not going to go that well. But you don't need to challenge when you have insight. You can tell the insight story. I'll give an example from the medical science arena. In 1982, two Australian medical researchers, Barry Marshall and Robin Warren, had a hypothesis about stomach ulcers. They felt that stomach ulcers were caused by a particular bacterium. But the conventional wisdom at the time was that bacteria couldn't survive in the acidic stomach environment and that stomach ulcers were caused by stress. So Marshall and Warren couldn't get their insight accepted. So in frustration, Barry Marshall performed an endoscopy, a scan on his stomach, and then drank a potion of bacterium, infected himself with stomach ulcers, and then treated himself with the specific antibacteria. And naturally, that stunt was heard all around the world, and the medical establishment came to accept that insight. In 2005, Marshall and Warren were awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine. That's an extreme example, but it makes the point. You have some insight, but your insight is not accepted by your market. Otherwise, it's not insight. Otherwise, it's already well known. And how do you get the mainstream market, your client base, to accept your insight? Well, we have a tendency of dumping data, but stories are more persuasive and more interesting. And when you present your insight in the form of a story, your seasoned, experienced client will just listen and take it in and learn from your story. It's not confronting, it's not challenging at all. It's just learning from a story. Another name for the insight story would be the researcher's story. How did your company come about? How did you get to find that insight? What was the journey? The research journey normally has failures, ups and downs, and then false leads, and then finally there's a eureka moment, there's a discovery. That's an insight story. Or maybe like Marshall and Warren, the eureka moment was the first time someone really got it, really understood it. Can you tell the story of when that happened or how that happened? So the insight story takes your client that doesn't understand your insight and takes them on the journey of how you learnt it, which is what they need to do in their mind. They need to learn it as well. And the story will allow them to learn that in a non-challenging, non-confrontational way. So look at the insights that you have. Look at the 100-slide PowerPoint pack that you got from your research department and ask the question, how were those insights discovered? What was the journey? What was the eureka moment? What were the false leads, the false turns? Can you create a narrative, the researcher's narrative, to present your insight in a non-challenging way? I'm Mike Adams.